If your business relies on you, then it's not a business. It's an expensive, beautiful cage. You seem to be free, but in fact, you're on a leash of your own system. You pay with time, attention, relationships, and health. I was in this cage, and I got out of it. Hello everyone. I'm Anton Vasilenko, co-founder and CEO of the network of cyberclubs, True Gamers, and several other brands in 130 cities worldwide. We are noted by leading publications like RBC and Forbes. The key is the team, the system, and to scale when others are stuck in local business. Here I talk about entrepreneurship without the romance, only structure, meaning, and practice. How to launch, how to grow, and how to manage when just being a good guy no longer works. The first thing, you are a threat to your business if you are irreplaceable when everything revolves around you and you are the only one pulling the weight. And this is the most dangerous illusion because at this moment you are not a leader, you are a point of failure. In Bordak, at the start, I held a lot on my shoulders. Brand, training, marketing. At the time of opening the company, we did not have a large budget. My partner and I sat at the administrative desk, worked as administrators, registered clients, called clients, issued them receipts, and simultaneously studied what franchising is, how legal contracts are structured, what franchising business models are, and how to create guidebooks for training partners and opening our own location. And at night, after closing everything, we went to build the new enterprises, and at that moment, there was no system. It was just me and my partner who, due to a lack of financial resources and assets, were performing a large number of tasks and work. Secondly, first it's architecture, then the product. Language is a system of common concepts, metrics, roles, and processes through which the team can operate without your involvement until you establish this language. The team comes to you every time and asks, how do we do this? Or this, did we understand it correctly? And this series of questions is endless. And even if you trust, you will still be the hub of all decisions. Everyone has their own language and there is no common one. At True Gamers, when we were just scaling, each franchise partner interpreted the gaming zone in their own way until we described what the client's profile is, where the boundaries between atmosphere and service, what is a good club from the perspective of management companies, because before that, everyone did things their own way and I had to get involved, as did my partner. As soon as a common language, architecture, terms, metrics, and roles appeared, people started making decisions, but without you. Third, standards. This is a clear and understandable guideline of what is considered quality, what is good, and what is not. They provide support, they provide scalability. Control is when you don't give freedom, when every step needs to be approved, when people don't have the right to make mistakes and there is no space for their own decisions. So why doesn't chaos scale? Because you can't scale something that relies on improvisation. If each branch has its own presentation, its own prices, its own truth, you end up with a network where you are the only integrator. For example, at the very start, it happened that in a large metropolis, we could immediately open about 20-40 locations. If we hadn't regulated pricing, and at some point we introduced this tool, initially it wasn't there. What did we see? We saw that one of the partners started to undercut prices, for example, offering a 50% discount, and he began to launch marketing advertisements. But this was not coordinated with the management company nor with the other partners. As a result, customers who saw this advertisement in one area would come to a completely different one. Barbershop received the service, showed referral links, promo codes, and asked for a discount. A conflict arose because such a loyalty program did not exist at this branch. As a result, we ended up with a dissatisfied customer, a conflict situation, and brand tarnishing. We received these results and worked on correcting the mistake. And since 2017, there has been a unified pricing, weight, and service provision regulation. So why doesn't a stifled system thrive? Because if you regulate everything, people will stop thinking. They will start waiting for instructions. And even when there is an opportunity to do better, they won't, because it's not allowed. 4. Control is not equal to strength. Control is fear. We often think, if I control everything, I am a strong leader. But the truth is different. Control is not strength. Control is fear disguised as leadership. You are afraid that without you, mistakes will be made, afraid that things won't be handled, afraid of losing control. And with it, power, identity, necessity. And in the end, you keep the business under scientific management. I have seen dozens of franchises fall apart not because they had a bad product, but because all key decisions went through the founder. As soon as he was out of the picture, everything came to a halt. Salaries, launches, clients, decisions. A business built on control is a single point system. A strong business is one that thinks with your logic, even if you're not around. It's a system that reproduces your principles without your involvement. Write the architecture. Not business processes, but architecture. Hire people better than you in their areas. You need a product manager who sees the product more deeply than you do. A marketer who doesn't follow a brief, but creates it them. And importantly, you shouldn't fear them. If you're afraid, it means you're competing, not building. Invest in culture. People don't work for a salary, they work when they understand why you're building this. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. If I get sick tomorrow, which decisions will come to a halt without me? How many people on the team can say, I know how we make decisions? Is there anyone in the company whom you hired not for convenience, but because they are stronger than you in some way? If you can't answer calmly, it's time to rebuild the system. You don't become less important when you let go. You become scalable. If you don't have architecture, a role model, and people who can think like you don't have a business. You have busyness. Subscribe to this channel so I have the motivation to create more and more useful videos. Bye.